Hi there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people harness high vibe Cancer energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Cancer energy, and some people harness a more shadowy Cancer energy. So whether you're a Cancer sun sign or not, dealing with a Cancer sun sign or not, we all tap into Cancer energy. It has to do with, love and home and family, and how do we harness our Cancer energy in those places in our life. So listen to your intuition about where you fit in the story and where some other people fit in the story, and decide what kind of people you want to invest your time, energy, and effort into. The overall arching reason for the reading is the Six of Pentacles, which has to do with Taurus energy, how we view ourselves, how we view the world, how we view others, how our attitudes about workplaces and how people should get along, how we view relationships and how we think people should get along. And it all has to do with how we imagined our dream coming into reality. And there's some people in the world that harness a very worldly focused Cancer energy and Taurus energy and Aries energy. The worldly, more focused people might be more about being in a transactional relationship. Like, well, I'll give you this and you give me that. And that's how I always imagined doing life. It isn't about we're both emotionally balanced, we walk with character and integrity, we walk the talk, we operate from a foundation of love. Some people don't even care about love. Some people just want people to give them money. Some people want them just to give them the resources of the world that they have. I want your sex. I want your love. But are they harnessing love? Are they in it for love? Are they acting with character and integrity? Are they motivated and inspired by love? Or shadowy Aries is, and they don't have to be an Aries sun sign, it's just how they harness their Aries energy. They could be more motivated by themselves. Like, I'll exchange resources with someone so it just looks like my dreams came into reality. Shadowy energy is about creating an illusion. It's not the real deal. I just want to look like my dreams have come into reality. I want to look like I have what everyone else has in the world, but I'm not willing to do love. I'm maybe not willing to be just and fair. I'm maybe not willing to act with character and integrity or be authentic, but I want to look like I have what everyone else has. So I'll exchange some of my things of the world that I have with someone else so they'll work together with me in a relationship so I look like my dreams have come into reality. And some of the people who know people like that, the high vibe people, they're motivated and inspired by love, and they've turned their back on those people. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone where it's all about I should stay in the relationship because of the ego or the image or the status or the codependency. I want to do love. And I want to go exchange my time, energy, and effort with other people who are motivated and inspired by love. But the card that came out with the Six of Pentacles, it talks about we have to exchange like one foundation for the other if we've been aligned with the opposing team within ourselves. There's some people who would like to be in a relationship with some of the people who harness high vibe Cancer energy that have turned their back on people who want to be in a transactional relationship. And there's some other people that would like to be in a relationship with those people. But in order to be in a relationship with those people, they have to put an end to feeling safe and secure. It's kind of what the Tower talks about. And their foundation of self being aligned with their more shadowy Taurus energy or more worldly focused Taurus energy, which can be all about putting in work and effort to have the status and the image and the money or being indulged in a relationship. It's like, no, if that's how you want to live your life, then I'm letting that foundation go. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. And some other people are realizing if they want to be in a relationship with someone based on love, they need to let go of aligning with their more, egoic nature, defensive, prideful, egotistical, stubborn, all about themselves. And some people aren't willing to do that, and some people are. Other people were in a relationship with a loving person, but because the loving person is motivated and inspired by love, and it kind of got to the point in the relationship where those people were going to have to detach from that old way of viewing life, some of them weren't willing to do it. And they decided, I'm more motivated and inspired by myself or my ego or my defensive nature or my worldly nature, and I don't want to exchange resources with the loving people. I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. I don't want to be just and fair. I don't want to have to let go of some of those things that I would have to let go of in order to move forward with a loving person in a relationship. So, we start out with the Three of Cups, and that came out because of the Queen of Wands. Then we have the Seven of Swords because of the Sagittarius energy, Temperance. We have the Page of Swords, which came out because of the Ace of Swords, and we have the Tower card because of the Six of Pentacles. High vibe people operate from a foundation of love. They have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. They want to come together with other people in joy and celebration, where people, workplaces, friendships, families, romantic relationships, marriages, where people are motivated and inspired by love. And why are they motivated and inspired by love? Because the queens in tarot can talk about our emotional state, who we are internally, because they're people who harness high vibe Leo energy. They're bold and brave enough to do love. Shadowy Leos being in your ego, in your fear, in your insecurity, in your ego, in being manipulative and defensive, self-centered, thinking I should be able to manipulate people to get what I want. And high vibe people don't want to be manipulated by people in a relationship. They want people to be freely open to giving and receiving love. And also being authentic. That's high vibe Leo energy. I'm willing to authentically be myself in a relationship where I'm not hiding and letting my false persona, ego personality, run my life, and I hide inside so I don't get hurt. How come some people are able to move forward in an energy of love and hope and faith and belief? Because they kind of align with their more... I kind of look at fire energy as being more inspired by love and willing to listen to your intuition and having hope and faith and belief. And Leo energy is also represented by the Sun card in tarot. It's like I have the free will choice to either be sad, defensive, fearful, insecure, prideful, egotistical, selfish, greedy, blaming everyone else for my problems, or I can choose to love myself. And high vibe people have chosen to love themselves. I choose to be my own best mother, father, coach voice in my own head. I don't control anyone else in the world. The only person I control is me. The only person I should try to control is me. So I make the free will choice to love myself. To every day offer myself love and compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes I've made in the past. We all have lots of lessons to learn in life. Our more base nature, since we were small children, is to kind of be all about ourselves. We want what we want it now, and we can be selfish and greedy and clever in how to get those things, But if you've lived enough life, you've realized that if you act that way in a relationship, it generally doesn't turn out the way you want. So most people have learned lessons in life to temper their more egoic nature, and our high vibe nature is about that we can elevate ourselves out of our more immature, indulgent, prideful, self-centered nature, and we can elevate ourselves to grow up and out of that nature. And it's a process throughout our life. We have layers and layers of our fearful, insecure, prideful, egotistical nature to shed. And then we have the Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy, which is we have a dream. Are we willing to listen to our intuition? Or are we going to get caught up in our head and our fears and our insecurities and not move forward in our truth of the Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords? And we go through that a lot in life. Oh my gosh, there's something new I should do in my life. I should go get a different job. I should find a different friend. Maybe I should go to college. Maybe all these things I should do. And we can get up in our head, is what the Seven of Swords talks about. Because it might require us to have that, inner child nature, the Page of Swords, to have that hopeful, believing nature within ourselves, and to stand up for what we believe in and speak our truth and take action in truth and love, being bold and brave and confident, to say, I'm going to let go of what I had been aligned with, or ways of viewing myself, ways of viewing the world. And I'm going to be bold and brave enough to take some creative, inspired action to move forward in my life. I'm going to face some of my fears and my insecurities and my self-limiting beliefs. High vibe energy is about willing to face your fears to grow into your full potential so you can feel proud of yourself. We've all been where we've been in our fear and our insecurity, and we weren't willing to move forward, even though our intuition and there was that inner child nature within ourselves that said, come on, let's do it. We've been here long enough and lived our way this way long enough. Let's shed some of the fear and the insecurity and, all that stuff. But it takes work and effort. And we have to let go. Being in our fear and our insecurity can make us feel safe. If we stay in our fear and insecurity, then we don't have to put ourselves out there any differently. If we stay in the same job that we don't really like, we don't have to put ourselves out there to get a new job, And eventually, it's kind of like a person's loving nature that we can try to avoid it, but our own loving nature, we work on our fears and our insecurities that got us up in our head to work through all of those. And the difference between the Seven of Swords and the One Sword is the Six of Swords, which also, like the Seven of Swords, is Aquarius energy. We have a dream. And where we're at is causing us mental conflict because we thought a dream was going to come in to reality there too. And for a while, we were living our dream life. But, it's all about growing and maturing yourself. Are we going to keep doing exactly the same thing? Feeling the same way, thinking the same way, doing everything the same as we've always done it? That kind of is like non-life-giving energy. And eventually it causes us inner conflict because it's kind of like our soul telling us, this might have been great when we were living our life this way for a while, but it's time to move on. Now it's causing us mental conflict because there's nothing new here. We're not challenging ourselves. We're not growing ourselves. And then we've got to go through this process of Sagittarius energy of the Temperance card is about wrapping your brain around this game of life. And it is about higher education. I'm going to put in some inspired action and offer love to all my fears and insecurities that are stopping me from moving forward in life. And it's to go through all those thoughts of why don't I go forward? Why should I go forward? How would I feel if I did move forward in life differently? If I viewed myself differently, if I was bold and brave enough to do those things, And eventually we work through all of the ways that our own fears and insecurities and our more immature, indulgent, lazy nature can tempt us to live more from our mind than our heart than being more bold and brave and confident. But it does require, that we put in work and effort and that we detach from some of those old ways that made us feel safe and secure to be able to venture out into kind of unknown territory and go get that new job, be more social or something, whatever the case might be. But then it's kind of like the dueling between our more inner child nature and our more worldly, immature nature. And then we battle between what is our truth. We've gotten down to the core of it. What is our truth? Do I love and believe in myself? Do I think I deserve to have my dreams come into reality? Do I think I deserve to move away from living my life in a way that causes me mental conflict? Maybe working with other people who are happy that I have fear and insecurity, or I'm codependent, or that they could harness these energies in a shadowy way. Shadowy Cancer can be people, they don't have to be a Cancer sun sign, but they use their emotions manipulatively in a relationship. Why? Because they operate more from their ego, and they would maybe like us to stay in a relationship with them living more from our mind than our heart. This makes practical, logical sense. You should stay, my friend. You should stay at this job. You should stay in this relationship. Our dreams can come into reality. We'll look like our dreams have come into reality. You'll look like your dreams came into reality. But it's ignoring your intuition, and your intuition is telling you it's time to venture out. It's time to face some of my fears. And then you might start to feel like the people you're dealing with in your life, they're maybe happy continuing to live their life that way. And maybe they ignore their intuition, which I think our intuition is all about us facing our fears and insecurities to grow to our full potential, to realize this is causing mental conflict. Keep staying here. If you're aligned with other people who it might feel like at one time it seemed loving and warm and supportive and encouraging, but now it seems like maybe people are being deceptive and manipulative. They could have presented themselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer Leo energy, but then you kind of realize that maybe that was a strategy to make you stay in a relationship with them, and really you weren't seeing the truth. And we all have lessons to learn with people, and if they're willing to move forward with us, that would be one thing, but some people aren't. And then they don't want you to go live your life differently, because that could bother them, because they're not going to live their life differently. And sometimes people who aren't facing their fears to go believe in their dreams don't want other people to go and make their dreams come into reality, because then, they're still stuck back here doing life the way they keep doing it. And so then they can try to do these things to try to emotionally manipulate you, and maybe even instill fear and insecurity, maybe triangulate you against other people in their life or your life together, with their friend group, with their family group, with other relationships, to make you fearful. You better not go. I'll get in a relationship with someone else. You better stay here. You don't know what's going to happen out there. You don't know if your dreams are going to come into reality. You don't know if you're going to find a better job or a new friend or a new relationship. You better stay here. So they're happy, and it can just be our own shadow energy. Other people couldn't tempt us to do and stay where we have a lot of mental conflict if there isn't a part of us that kind of wants to stay there too, for whatever reasons we have. And if there's people, the Leo sun and the Aquarius star, it can be people who seem very successful in life. And if we were to stay in that job, friendship, or relationship, it would make it look like we kind of have it all. But sometimes we see the truth that the other people never intended to really bring the dream into reality. Sometimes we can get in a job or relationship and it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so great. And yes, we're all willing to work cooperatively together, and, we're all really encouraging and supportive of everyone. And we all have this end goal. And then you get in the job or the relationship or the marriage and you find out that the people weren't telling the truth. They were kind of being a little deceptive and manipulative, and maybe trying to emotionally manipulate you to get in the job or the relationship or the marriage. And they never planned on detaching from some of their old ways of being. Maybe weren't ever going to be bold and brave and confident in the relationship. Never were going to take inspired action in their life. It's like, well, no, I thought if I got you in the relationship, we could just do this. You be loving and warm and giving. I'll live more from my mind than my heart. And I'll just keep trying to balance out my emotions about the fact that I'm not loving and warm and giving and authentic. And I'm hoping you'll just balance out your emotions about the fact that you're in a relationship with me where I don't want to see the truth that it is about being authentic and warm and loving. Wouldn't you just stay in the relationship with me anyway? We look like we have it all. And some of you already did this, and some people are doing it now where they're saying no. Not in a harsh, rude, argumentative way. That's not the Page of Cups energy. The Page of Cups energy is like, I'm just going to speak my truth. I don't want to be in just like a transactional relationship. I want the real deal where people are willing to work with me cooperatively and be encouraging and supportive and want me to grow to my full potential. And just like I want to be loving and encouraging of them to grow to their full potential. And I don't want it to just be like, oh, well, you've got this job and that should be good enough. Or, oh, you're in a relationship with someone who's exchanging time, energy, effort, hugs and kisses with you. That should be enough. It's like, is it based on truth and justice and fairness and character and integrity? Or is it more, it's good for your ego and your image and your status and all that if I stay in this job, relationship, or marriage? But I'm not going to get my dream to come into reality. And I'm supposed to settle. You might be happy living your life this way, and I'm supposed to give up on my dreams of being in a stable, grounded, loyal, committed, creative, inspired, nurturing, and supportive workplace or relationship. But you get what you want, but there's no equal give and take. I don't get what I want. It's all me enabling you getting what you want. Because I thought we got into it for the reason of love. And the other people are like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'd have to exchange my more worldly focused foundation to look at life completely different. You know, and who knows when did people get so out of balance and tip into self-centeredness, thinking it should be all about them, thinking it should be just all about the world or indulgence. When did it quit being balanced? When did it quit being about, maintaining balance, that we all put in work and effort to have stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life, but we can go pursue those things and still act with character and integrity and love and be just and fair in a relationship. And sometimes, the Tower talks about something major happening that makes a person see the truth of someone's foundation. And it has to do with maybe they don't have a very stable foundation. They might really be someone lacking in character and integrity because they could either be very egotistical, self-centered, have this illusion that everything is supposed to be about them. Everybody else is supposed to put aside their pride and ego, but never them. They're the most important person. Well, if they're the most important person and they're not willing to compromise and work together with people cooperatively, where everybody is expected to concede and have grace and act with character and integrity, then they shouldn't be in a relationship, because the only person they care about is themselves. The Seven of Swords, in shadow, they're holding the Five of Swords, which can be people who want to win at all costs. And they don't really care who gets hurt. Some people were moving forward in a relationship, and when they would have to let go of the possibility of maybe exchanging resources with someone else, because the Queen of Wands can represent the other man, the other woman, that's when it's like, I just can't keep moving forward and come together with you in a relationship or keep staying in this marriage or get into this marriage because there's other people that I want to be able to exchange time, energy, and hugs and kisses with. But again, just because someone else comes in their life isn't it's not that person's problem. The divine was just trying to get you to see the truth of this person's foundation. They just use someone. Nothing goes to waste. If God knows that somebody can be a temptation to someone else to get them to get out of your life so you can see the truth of their foundation, God uses those people where they're at. It's like, oh, look, this person over here is willing to get in a relationship with this person, and they might have, communicated with them that, you should make your life more about, and it's their own ego. It happens first in their own ego nature. It was already there. It was just kind of laying hidden beneath the surface of their foundation. Sometimes they don't even know it. Sometimes people don't really know until push comes to shove where they have really got to pick a path. And that's when it happens. So not everybody was tempted to get out of a relationship. It first happened within themselves that they are someone, for some of them, who want to live more from their mind than their heart. And they are kind of more emotionally manipulated by their worldly egoic nature. And then there could be other people who come into their life who kind of represent maybe that shadowy energy in their life. And because they have some lessons to learn that some other people in their life have already learned, that, if you take action out of pride or ego or fear or insecurity or lust and greed, our shadow nature is represented by the devil. It means that we kind of got off the path. We're going to learn some hard lessons. And so some of you might have already learned some of those lessons, to keep putting in work and effort to be truthful and honest and just and fair and operate from a foundation of love. And if you keep seeing that the other person doesn't seem to be putting in that work and effort, you could have decided to let go of the relationship. They were willing to let go of the relationship because really, they don't really want to live their life like that. They're maybe just not a very bold and brave and a person who even wants to connect in much with their emotions. And they'd rather live life the way they've lived it. And they're okay, repeating a pattern of way of living life and never maybe even thought of ever living their life any differently than that. And that's okay. It all serves a purpose. We get to see how different people live their life in the world. It's just that when we have a mismatched relationship, sometimes the loving people are putting in all this work to bring a dream into reality. It's like, oh my gosh, they are not seeing the truth that this person could be kind of indulging themselves in this relationship. They never really aren't aligned with living life that way, but you just haven't seen the truth of it. And then let's ask, what could have happened that revealed the truth of a foundation? Two of Pentacles, because of the Seven of Cups. Well, for some, it could have become obvious that someone was kind of juggling you and not investing in you and doing things that were really emotionally confusing. Again, if people seem to be kind of trying to emotionally manipulate you, if people seem to not be clear about the truth and kind of either acting kind of prideful and egotistical or self-centered or kind of being deceptive and manipulative, and it's confusing, and it's kind of like, why are you not investing in this? Why are you going back and forth? And the whole thing is they're not very balanced and believing in their dreams. The high vibe people were harnessing high vibe Capricorn, high vibe Scorpio. I try to maintain balance within myself so I don't get caught up in my mind and my fear and my insecurity and trying to emotionally manipulate people or trying to deceive people to get what I want. I want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. And the other people could harness more shadowy Capricorn, Scorpio energy. They don't really like to invest in people because then they got skin in the game. It's more about creating the illusion that it's love and that I'm willing to move forward with you in a relationship, but I really don't like to invest in people because that's scary. Then I'm actually really invested, and I kind of like to live more, be in a relationship where I can create an illusion that it's love. And if you're starting to see the truth that I do kind of juggle, or see the truth that I'm kind of, a person who juggles is someone who presents themselves as harnessing high vibe energy to the world, but really behind the scenes, they could have a lot of issues they need to deal with that they don't ever deal with. And it causes them a lot of maybe emotional confusion because they never deal with their issues. They just, let's put on a good front and let's never deal with our issues behind the scenes. I present myself one way in the world, but behind the scenes, I might present myself as loving, but I'm really operating more from my ego. Present myself as someone who wants to bring a dream into reality, but really, I'm just trying to balance out my emotions about the fact that I'm even in a relationship, maybe with someone, and then kind of defensive to detaching from an old foundation. It could even be that they would have to become more independent and bold and brave and confident, and they could be really kind of codependent on other people in their life who are like a third party to whatever relationship they get into. It could be their original family group, it could be their friend group, it could be people in their life that they have love for, but maybe those people, they could feel maybe wouldn't be happy if they were to live their life differently because that's not how they live their life. And they're not willing to detach from those people, because they're maybe still kind of codependent on them for their sense of emotional well-being or sense of stability, regardless of how old they are. They're not willing to detach from those people to, even if it is the people that they are married to and have children with. No, these people are the people who I really look to and are more codependent on for my sense of well-being, and I'm maybe kind of immature and codependent. And some of them, the truth could have been revealed that they're just more worldly focused and caught up in the illusion of the world, and then they want to go be in relationships with other people who might harness more worldly Capricorn energy, worldly Scorpio energy. Other people who maybe like to create illusions in relationships, who might be more emotionally shallow and superficial, and who might be more willing to stay in a relationship because of money and status and image. And that could be the type of people they grew up with, or just how they live their life. And for some people, this one's kind of weird, but I've seen it a couple times in tarot, and it can hurt. But sometimes some people, because of the people they did have in their life, they weren't living their authentic life. They were trying to adhere to the foundation of the people that had been in their life, which those people could have kind of had a disciplinary kind of effect on these people, kept them kind of in check. And then when something happened where maybe those people were no longer in their life, it was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. This isn't my truth. And then they went to go live life the way they really like to live it. And it can be, I was dotting the I's, crossing the T's, living my life the way other people in my life told me to live my life. And as long as they were in my world and in my life, I felt like I needed to live my life that way. But once those people weren't in my life anymore, in my foundation, then it was like, I've got my own way of living life. And it was to go, not to stay on the path of kind of like being more maybe disciplined and grounded and just and fair. And their more fiery nature of, I want to go indulge in what I want to indulge in. And some of them were a closet, very egotistical, maybe more self-centered person. And their own family could have known that. And their own family kept trying to keep them on the straight and narrow. And when those people maybe weren't in their life anymore and they didn't have to look to those people anymore, then it was like, yep, I'm out of here. I'm going to go be my authentic self, which is more shadowy. So I think for those of you that have gone through this before and have recently gone through it, I think you're doing this work within yourself to love and believe in yourself, to not get caught up in your head about people who are deceptive and manipulative and maybe bossy, maybe controlling, maybe immature, maybe all about themselves. And you listen to your intuition to not move forward with people where it would be an unstable foundation. Like I say, anybody can have their own idea of how they dream of a relationship coming into reality. And for them, they defend their unstable ways of being. And they think you should still be willing to exchange time, energy, effort, hugs, and kisses with them and be in a relationship or a marriage with them. You know? But they have this unstable way of being in the world. Something is very unstable. I've kind of mentioned all of it, you get the idea. But they defend that way of being. They don't think that there should be a problem with it. And some of you and some other people right now that are in workplaces and relationships with people like that, they're listening to their intuition and realizing, I'm not going to move forward with those people anymore. I'm going to retreat, listen to my intuition, connect in with my emotions and my intuition, maybe go hang out with some people in my world who I think really have my best interests at heart, who love me, who encourage me to connect in with my emotions and intuition, and don't let these people try to bring down my stable foundation to move forward with them in a relationship. Some people right now have someone in a relationship basically telling them, if you aren't willing to move forward with me in a relationship or a marriage, I'm going to stop exchanging resources with you. Well, sometimes that can be when the rubber meets the road too. And some people are like, I don't know. Have we talked about this a lot? Or are you being bossy and controlling and giving an ultimatum? It's like, well, gee, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with someone who threatens to end a relationship with me if I don't get married to them. And I don't know if there hasn't been conversation. Where are we at? 37 minutes. Let's ask, what is the difference? Because we live in a world of duality, there's people in the world that can get in relationships with people who seem to be on the same page as them, but what the action that you take when situations arise, it's like you could take completely opposite reactions. You would take action offering love, trying to look at things from a higher perspective, to not be stubborn and prideful and bossy and controlling. And you would think they're just like you, but they handle things completely differently. They decide to try to emotionally manipulate. They get up in their head. Their more immature nature comes out. Their more stubborn, prideful nature comes out and try to be bossy and controlling. It's just like, and that's when it's just like, wow, we can have a lot of similarities to people, similar backgrounds, similar childhood, similar wounding, and we just go about things completely different because that's what shows us the truth of their underlying philosophy of life, because our Taurus energy dictates the decisions that we make, and it depends on what we're aligned with internally. Some people are more aligned with their loving, just, fair, balanced, acting with character and integrity foundation. And other people are aligned with their more emotionally defensive, immature, stubborn, my way or the highway kind of attitude. And that's when we can see that this relationship just can't move forward. We're motivated and inspired by different things, and we handle things completely differently, opposite in a way from each other. I want to be with people who are inspired by love, and you maybe should go find people who are inspired by the world. Because, shadowy Aquarius energy here is about looking like a shining star in the world, but it's more about looking really successful in life than trying, not really caring how other people view you, just enjoying your life and hopefully having success, but it's from love. But other people, they're just not motivated and inspired by love. They derive their sense of worth and value in their ego more based on how other people view and perceive them. Just having people in their life who love and encourage them, it's like, you're not enough. It's like they need the whole world to acknowledge their worth and value and puff up their ego or something, because they have this unstable foundation. They're not balanced. They're tipped out of balance, probably lacking in love and self-confidence. Well, let's just finish it up here. So I think there's some people that are watching the loving people who listen to their intuition. Some of those people, again, because they could be a little full of themselves, and they could look like in the world with the Taurus energy and the Three of Wands, like, my dreams are going to come into reality. I look like my dreams are coming into reality. I look like I'm stable and grounded and might have money and status or power or whatever, and they're thinking they could just be waiting for you to communicate with them that you would be willing to get back in a relationship with them and do it the way they want. But that's the thing. They're kind of defensive and in their ego, turning their back to you. If you don't do it my way, I'll get in a relationship with someone who will, which is kind of the same thing you're telling them, but you're wanting to be in a relationship based on love. They want to be in a relationship where you just balance out your emotions about the fact that they're kind of manipulative and immature and deceptive and manipulative, but because you want to look like your dreams came into reality, you'll just balance out your emotions about being in a relationship with them. You'll indulge someone who's in shadowy energy, unhealthy energy. Some of those people could have gotten into other relationships hoping it would destabilize you, so you'd quit believing in yourself and believing in your dreams and doing things that were manipulative and prideful and deceptive and manipulative. Because they don't want to do the relationship the way you want to do it. And some of those people, even if they're in a new relationship, the people they're in a relationship could sense that this person seems to be defensive, again, of bringing a dream into reality. And they could sense this person's kind of juggling. It's like, well, who are you focused on? And they could be focused on loving people from their past, because it's nice to be in a relationship with loving people. But they also could be focused on people in their life who have those things of the world that they want. And if the person they're in a relationship with right now is another loving person, it's like, damn, if I wanted to be in a relationship with a loving person, I'd be in a relationship with the people in my life that I already know who are loving, because they probably know them better than they know this person. But for others of them, they're also looking back at someone who has those things of the world that they want. And I think it became, they might not want to see the truth. They might want to still be in denial of the truth, that they could have really burnt down all the relationships that they've been in because of this way of acting, and nobody maybe really wants to be in a relationship with them that they've already been in a relationship before. The high vibe people and the more worldly or emotionally manipulative people. They're both listening to their intuitions like, damn, you're unstable, dude, chick. and they don't get it. But they might, the tower might be that they're starting to get it. Some of the people that didn't move forward with you in a relationship, none of them want to be in a relationship with you anymore. Because they've seen the truth that you, again, you could almost look at it like divided loyalty. You can't make up your mind who you want to give time, energy, and effort to. Regardless, some of these people, even if they get in a relationship with someone, they're still always thinking about the other people that they could be in a relationship with, possibly. You know, that's your options. And then they always have maybe these other people in their life that are a priority in their life. But I think the high vibe people that have been in relationships like that, you worked through the confusion of it, you saw the truth, you stood in your truth, and you're no longer exchanging resources with those people. And the tower could be, besides the initial tower moment that happened of seeing the truth, it's now being able to completely release that foundation because you've done this work within yourself emotionally to now take the action, and you're ready to take inspired action in the world to come together with others. And for some of you, you have to be careful because there could be some people that want to try to stop you from moving forward. They kind of, and you'll have to listen to your intuition. Some of them, it's kind of like, I don't want you to stop exchanging, or the possibility of not exchanging resources with you if you were to go get in a different relationship. So they might communicate with you that they want to reunite with you to stop you from exchanging resources with anyone new. And you're going to listen to your intuition on who's being deceptive and manipulative. And if the people are deceptive and manipulative, I think, yeah, you're not going to exchange any time, energy, or an effort with them. And I think you're going to maintain your balance and keep believing in your dreams. And that's going to be a tower moment for the people who thought they could tempt you or manipulate you and appeal to your pride or your ego or your lust or your greed. And they're going to see that you're not working from that foundation anymore. You've seen the truth. You're standing in your truth. You have your dream. And if other people aren't standing in their truth and letting go of their more worldly focus of relationships or thinking it should be all about them, yeah, they're going to see that you're no longer an illusion. You've seen the truth. And then other people are attracted to you, and they're going to come maybe talk to you. And it's for them, you know, they're not going to rush into anything because they don't want to be deceived and manipulated. They have a dream. And they also are going to listen to their intuition about you. Have you really let go of that other foundation? Because I don't want to get in a relationship with someone who hasn't really let go of it. And if their intuition tells them that you are telling the truth and you are really ready to move forward in a new relationship, the people that you meet or anyone from your past that might approach you, when they see the truth that you really have done that and you're not caught up in any of the past or the illusions or the whatever that you could have been in the past, they're going to move forward with you in a relationship. But because we have a dualistic nature, you have free will. You might have both types of people approach you in life, some from your past, some from your present, some from your future, because you have free will and you can choose to repeat an old pattern, get caught up in your mind of not believing that your dreams can come true, and get emotionally manipulated and tempted by your pride, your ego, your lust, or your greed. And it probably won't work out the way you think it's going to. Or you listen to your intuition, and when people see that you mean business and you're moving forward anyway, that might be when some people initially might retreat, and then they'll say, damn, that is the type of person I want to be in a relationship with. And I'm glad they can't be tempted in their ego or their lust or their greed. I am going to let go of my juggling and not wanting to commit or something, I'm going to let that go and I'm going to go make them an offer. If we settle for less than we deserve, to think that, oh, later they'll really give me what I want. It's like, no. If they know that you'll settle for less than you deserve, they'll keep giving you less than you deserve. What's coming up for the high vibe people? The Knight of Wands, the Strength card, the Six of Wands, because of the Six of Swords. I think some people are going to communicate with you that they want to move forward with you, that it would be like a dream come true and a victory. But some of those people are operating 2 cards of Leo energy, of pride and ego. There's going to be other people that are going to communicate with you that they've worked through their own mental conflict about themselves or the world or ego and status and image and stuff like that. And they've tempered their ego and they're ready to let go of the competition between the 1 and the 6 is the 5 of Wands, which can mean the competition. If some people kind of had been moving forward in a more worldly view of life, a more egoic or materialistic view of life, they're letting go of that to have true victory in their life, to really have their dreams come into reality. It's about truth and love and tempering your more beastly nature to get out of your ego and have true victory in life and really have your dreams come into reality. And the only way your dreams can really come into reality is building a foundation on love. Otherwise, it's just the illusion that you present to the world of how wonderful it is, but it's really not love. And even if it's not other people communicating with you, it's you continuing to take action forward, believing in yourself, not getting caught up in your ego and mental conflict. If there's anybody right now that you might communicate with who isn't willing to detach and move forward with you, it's like, okay, so there's nobody here right now. I'm going to keep moving forward, taking action in truth and love and believing in my dreams, because apparently maybe the person I am meant to meet is someone I have not met yet or isn't currently in my environment. What's coming up for the people who harness a more shadowy Cancer energy? Well, for one, they might not see that the people who have freed themselves with love, because shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil, high vibe Capricorn of the 3 of Pentacles is where you put in work and effort to free yourself from your fears and insecurities and ego, from love, using love. And they might see those people have new beginnings, working with other people that are operating with them from a place of love. They maybe didn't see that coming. And that your foundation loves yourself. What they also might not see coming is they might have some people in the world who do want to be in a relationship with them. But the people who might want to be in a relationship with them might harness more shadowy Capricorn energy, more, and they don't have to be a Capricorn, just maybe more motivated and inspired. Shadowy, more worldly Capricorn energy is just people who want to, what is that of how that's described? Building a legacy in the world, but it is more from a worldly focus. The money and the status and the image, and look how victorious and successful, and look what we accomplished, instead of freeing yourself to live your authentic life from love. And if you get a plaque on the wall when you die, you don't really care, high vibe people. But some of the more worldly focused people might really, that's really important to them. Like, so they might have, there's some shadowy people right now that are in a relationship, and the person they're maybe in a relationship with thinks their dream's going to come into reality. But some of these shadowy people are always tempted by their options. And the 2 of Pentacles is Capricorn too. If there's someone in the world who because if these people aren't making decisions in relationships and getting in relationships based on love, it's kind of like, well, who would be better for my ego and image? Well, how attractive are you? How much power do you have? How much money do you have? How much social clout do you have? And they're just looking to see. And if they see someone who has more of those things that they think would be good for their ego and their image and their status, because it's really all about them. Some of those people are going to let go of the relationship that they could be in right now because they're always tempted. Enough is never enough. That's why being in shadowy energy, even if it's just money and ego and materialism, it's like a drug. Enough is never enough. And we can't commit to someone because someone over here might have more, and that'd be better for my ego and my image and my status and my standing and my wealth, you know? So yeah, some of those people, it might shock people that they're going to get out of maybe another relationship. But I think it's, as long as they keep being tempted and being aligning with their more egoic nature, this is going to keep happening for them. I don't know, what lesson are the shadowy people supposed to learn? Something along that line. Their competitive nature will maybe be a roadblock to them having a long-term, emotionally fulfilling relationship because of the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Wands is their more immature, impulsive, I want what I want nature. And they have this inner conflict between, emotionally investing in something that could be more long-term, because the devil is about kind of like immediate gratification. And plus, if you're going to work together with people in a relationship, it does take more kind of work and effort than if you just get to go be an immature player. And some people don't, they think, well, they might not see it yet, but they might. Let's ask, what could be the long-term consequence of some of these people kind of being an immature player, that their ego or their fear or their immaturity gets them? I think that they're going to be left out in the cold from their dreams, because which will be justice, maybe? The King of Swords is Libra energy represented by the scales of justice. That the dream, okay, because if we align with our shadowy nature, it's not doing the work within ourselves to get more stable and balanced within ourselves, so we are more bold and brave and confident within ourselves, which would be about building relationships based on love. Ever since we've been small children, being in loving, supportive, and encouraging environments is where we grow and thrive, right? But these people keep rejecting that for whatever reason they've got. And so then, instead of doing this work within their own foundation, it's like they keep thinking the answer lies outside of them. And it's just like we can look to booze or drugs or food or gambling or sex or whatever, that's the answer. And that, the things of the world are meant to be enjoyed from a place of love, not in place of love. But they could think that they could just be someone who confuses sex with love and just thinking, I don't know. Anyway, it's, it ends up kind of taking your life into hell, just like all addictions do, because you gave too much power to something outside of you than being empowered within yourself, in your own foundation, and being solid and stable and strong and knowing your worth and value. And some of these people are kind of immature and don't have a very strong foundation, and they just have a lot of lessons to learn. And all the things, and it could be to look to other people who seem very victorious and successful in the world. Maybe they're people who feel like they need to be in a certain group or club of people in a way to validate their worth and value, for them to feel stable and grounded within themselves. And I think they're kind of chasing the wrong things. Instead of looking outside of themselves for like glory and fame or stardom, or for people to really look up and admire them, I think because they live their life that way, I think they're going to find themselves kind of left out in the cold because maybe some of the people they're aligning with are just doing it for their own ego boost, their own sense of empowerment. And then when they've got their ego boost, then it's like throwing away a Kleenex. It's like, I'm done with you. You know, they're not building a foundation on love. And until they start to appreciate the people who do build from a foundation of love and they choose to build from a foundation of love, they're probably going to keep hanging out with some people in the world who have their own agenda in the Seven of Swords. It always makes me feel powerful that I can tempt you to come get in a relationship with me and give up on the relationships that you have. Oh, by the way, I'm just manipulating you. And once I know that other relationship's gone, then I'm not going to move forward with you to bring your dream into reality. I just wanted my ego boost. And now that, and that can even be friends and family. Oh, you shouldn't move forward with those people. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't think you should trust them, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't move forward with those people. And then those people are like, yeah, it's like I'm God or something, you know? And then those people really don't have their best interests at heart. If the people in their life had their best interests at heart, it would be, are these people loving and nurturing and supportive of you? You know, do you think your dreams can come in? And they wouldn't try to manipulate them and control them and instill fear and insecurity in them. And some people, though, they're defensive of seeing the truth of some of the people in their foundation, even in their own core foundation, and not seeing the truth of why some people want to exchange time, energy, effort, and hugs and kisses with them for the people where it's a romantic relationship. But they turn their back on seeing the truth because they really have this idea of maybe what the dream relationship would be like, and they're not building it on love. So as long as they keep not doing it from love, I think their inner conflict is going to keep them from happiness, and this dream they have that they think is the truth, it's going to leave them feeling left out in the cold and abandoned because, you know, it's kind of like the devil lies. Come on over. It'll be everything you ever wanted. You can have all the things of the world. You just can't have love. And some people are like, I'm okay with that. And then you indulge in all those things. And we read papers. We see in the paper, people have more than enough money and they're still doing ridiculous things. Like you can't find a date and you're filthy rich. And you're having to, you know, and then you get more and more corrupt. And what? We got to do corruption and we got to do minors and we got to do all this twisted shit. You know, it just wears away. Because there never was a core, maybe foundation of love to begin with. And enough was never enough. And it gets worse and worse and worse. So there you go, Cancer energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.